The Damnonii were a people of the late 2nd century who lived in what became the Kingdom of Strathclyde by the early Middle Ages, and is now southern Scotland. They are mentioned briefly in Ptolemy's geography, where he uses both of the terms Damnonii and Damnii to describe them, and there is no other historical record of them, except arguably by Gildas 3 centuries later. The cultural and linguistic affinity is presumed to be Brythonic. However, there is no unbroken historical record, and a partly Pictish origin is not precluded. The Romans under Agricola had campaigned in the area in 81, and it was Roman-occupied between the time that Hadrian's Wall was built, through the building of the Antonine Wall, until the pullback to Hadrian's Wall in 164. Ptolemy's geography was written within this time frame, so his account is contemporary. The historical record, the sole record of the Damnonii and the towns, is the mention by Ptolemy. They are found in no other source. Ptolemy says that the towns of the Damnonii were Vanduara, Calania, Coria, Ilorna, Lindi, and Victoria. However, there were no towns as such in the area at the time, so he was likely referring to Roman military camps and native strongpoints such as Duns. Efforts have been made to determine the locations of the towns, but there is not enough information available to reach any degree of certainty, and the locations suggested a little more than guesswork. Reflecting the lack of evidence, there is little agreement on assigning modern locations to the towns. Among the assignments made by those whose work is considered to be authoritative are those of William Baxter, William Camden, John Horsley, William Forbes Skene, George Chalmers, and William Roy. Other historians either quote one of these as the authority for assigning locations to Ptolemy's towns, or simply assert a location in passing. A few offer lists of the assertions of the above authorities. Ilorna is suggested to be the Camelon that is near and to the west of Falkirk, or at Stirling, or Ciaran NW of Stirling, on the Allan Water, or the island of Inchkeith. Calania is suggested to be Lanark-y-Carstairs near Lanark, or some other place on the east side of Clydesdale. Coria is suggested to be Linacurk WNW of Peebles, or some other place on the east side of Clydesdale. Lindum is suggested to be Kirkintillochny of Glasgow, or Llanlithgard, or near Ardic NW of Stirling. Victoria is suggested to be Dalgin Ross W of Crieff, or Abernethy Shea of Perth. Vanduara is suggested to be Paisley Renfrew to the west of Glasgow, or some 20 miles south of Glasgow at Loudon Hill. Fictional evidence. The Setu Britanniae held sway as virtually the only authoritative record of northern Roman Britain from 1757 until it was definitively debunked as a forgery in 1845, and was still a cited source of history until the end of the 19th century. Chalmers and Roy in particular were believers in the authenticity at the time they wrote, and a Damnonii are mentioned, accompanied by an explanatory commentary. The Setu Britanniae generally followed Ptolemy's map but made novel assertions regarding Damnonii towns.